Good evening and welcome to another edition of the Couch Coach. In studio tonight we have members from the Montana Basketball Club, known as the Vikings, Montana Vikings. We have the chairperson, Shafiq Ali, and player Lyle Robertson. Thank you so much for joining us, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
So, Montana Basketball. So, doing some research into this, I had no idea basketball was so big in Cape Town. How long has your club been in existence now, firstly?
So we've been in existence for about 25 years almost.
Wow.
We started out as about 14 guys, and we decided, we need to put a team together. And that's exactly what we did. And 25 years later, we're still going. And we're going really strong. Probably one of the biggest clubs in South Africa at the moment. We've got age groups from under 12, 14, 16, 18, right up to Super League players.
Wow.
And a lot of our players have made the Western Province team and went on to playing for the South African team as well.
Awesome.
So our main focus is obviously juniors. I think if we start at the bottom and grow our club, that's probably one of the best ways to do it. And I think going forward, we want to obviously try and get our kids to university. And I think as an ex-player, I still try and play when I can, but as a coach, I think it's important that we want to give our kids the opportunities that we never had. Awesome. I think at the end of the day. So we've got a lot of, we incorporate basketball into our life skills program as well. Nice. and we believe better players become better people, and that is our main focus and goal at the end of the day.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Juniors, about how many juniors do you have at the club?
So at the moment, we've got girls and boys teams. So as I said, we've got under 12s, under 14s, 16s, and 18 boys and girls. So and what is nice is that we've got the place we will practice at in Montana. We've got a school that we practice at, and that's our feeder to our club again.
Awesome.
So I'm very grateful for Montevideo Primary for assisting us in that aspect. So, and I mean, we've been there for the last 25 years. Lyle is a good example of one of the guys that came through the
I was just gonna say, speaking before we started recording here, you said you started there as a junior player.
I was too junior to play. Shafiq and my brother and other guys, they were the first batch of guys that just started playing on netball hoops, and I would just be the kid that's just always with. I even used to get a kit and I get to sit on the bench while they get to play. Yeah, exactly. But I was just happy to be with the team. And as my time came, I was able to, we were more players my age as well, and being at the Montevideo Primary School, that's like the one sport everyone at the school plays. Nice. And that kind of feeds in, and then we started competing to the extent whereby you start being able to go for trials for Western Province, start making Western Province, and then you start aspiring to making the national team, which I had the privilege of representing Montana Vikings when we went to the African Championship in Egypt, and traveled as well with the under-19 team to Malaysia.
Nice.
So just through playing basketball, besides learning the disciplines and everything, you actually get to travel. And
that's an amazing lesson in its
own. Exactly. Yeah, so it's been a long journey, and now I'm at the point where, I'm seeing all the juniors coming up, and they still come and watch me play, even though I'm a bit older now, but you start seeing what you had and the experiences, the way in which you experienced the growth, and you can actually make sure that, you represent the seniors when you can have talk with these guys, at the kids at the life skills program, and let them know that you walk the same road, you lived in the same area, you walk the same streets, and you managed to accomplish something that that sort of molds you into the adult that you become, and that's the kind of aspects that Shafiq was referring to. Like we want to make.
No, that I think is so amazing, and especially considering some of the communities we find ourselves in, and I'm sure that in your areas you also face with many challenges. Can you tell us a little bit about the challenges specific to what you face?
So a lot of it has got to do with I think a lot of our kids might not always have a meal. I think at the end of the day, so as a club and as a community, we try and make sure that there's at least a slice of bread or fruit at every practice. So that's one of our focuses. Sometimes struggling to study at night because there's no electricity. So we try and make sure that there's a safe place for them to come to. If they're not practicing on that day, they would come and then they're able to study. We have study programs as well. Sarah's one of our guys that actually runs that setup for us.
Sarah will be on in the next bit.
Yeah. And so all those little things, trying to make sure that our kids get home safely at night. We practice until about 7 at night, making sure that there's transport available for that. And all these little things cost money at the end of the day. So we try our best at the end of the day to try and to provide at the end of the day for them.
So you mentioned a word there, and it's not always the nicest thing to speak about, but it costs.
Yeah.
Are you getting a lot of help, or is there anybody you want to say thank you for? Is there anybody you want to ask for help?
Yeah. So we will always accept any help, we can. But I must say, for the last 2 years, King Price Insurance has been there for us.
Awesome.
They have the same values that we have as a club, and we're so privileged to be partnered with them. So they've been there to assist us where they could. So I want to say really thank you to them for all their help. Definitely.
Awesome. So before we jump over into the second segment, what are the biggest challenges you face in terms of needs that you need right now? And anybody watching, if they want to get involved, how can they get a hold of you guys?
Oh, well, they can find all the information about us on our website, mvbc.co.za. But like in terms of challenges, it's the basic challenges that we face in our more less affluent communities. We play outside, so I mean we rent the court from the school. That comes at a cost. But I mean, we have floodlights that we need, to train in. So when it's raining, we're not training. We've had the privilege of being OLX donating second-hand weight equipment, gym equipment. So when it is raining, we are able to use one of the classrooms and work on our physical conditioning and those things. And that's just anything that is, how can I say, sports related. It's not, we take it for granted that everyone has access to this, but we are basically just using a classroom at a school and the basketball court at a school, and that's all we have. And everything else is just our seniors or anyone that has connections that's willing to bring Montana Vikings up in a conversation to tell them what we're about. And then through that, lots of people have things that they don't know others need. So I think it's also just about having the conversation with people and being proud of being a Viking and what we're doing, and letting people know about us in a platform like this as well that can just help contribute, whatever you might be. We even just find those bands that we use between our legs to start working out, and those things, the costs start adding up. But I mean, for someone else, lots of people have these things in the garage, and they can just send it our way so we can use it.
What was that website address again?
mvbc.co.za.
mvbc.co.za.
That Montana Vikings is the only non-tertiary educational institute that has won the Super League championship, and we've won it up to 6 times already.
Jeez.
Every other championship is won by your universities, your technicons, because they have the ability to pull players in through the sports program. Montana Vikings is a school based in Montana, and we've won multiple Super League championships.
Amazing stuff, guys. Amazing stuff. I'm so sorry, but we have run out of time. And somebody here, I won't mention names, follow my eyes, said 10 minutes is too long. But thank you so much for your time. In the second segment, we're going to meet some of the players. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Please catch us shortly. Welcome to the second half of the Couch Coach. So we kicked out some of the older guys and we brought in some of the youngsters here. So some of the junior players and senior players. Both seniors.
Yeah.
You aren't juniors anymore.
No.
Right? We have
stage.
Ace and Sarah. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
So Ace, I want to start by you. You have a very interesting story. Your story with me started with, I used to be against them.
Yeah, so basically,
I grew up in Khayelitsha, so we had a club back in the days in Khayelitsha. It was Future Stars. So growing up as under 12, I mean, Vikings was your opponent, like the opposite bigger team, you know, because we were also a big team from Khayelitsha and they were from Montana. So there was a lot of rivalry there. So I mean, so it was like hectic. So I know for like I think 4 years, I think it was under 12, under 14, under 16. I've always played against Vikings in the finals. So we knew like really every season, every year we know who we're going to play in the finals. So that's how I, know the club.
Yeah. What was the shift? How did that happen?
So basically, to be honest with you, I really wanted to play for Montana Vikings because, I mean, they had a good concept going on. And for me, it was just like a transport issue like, because I stayed in Khayelitsha and they were in Montana. I mean, for me to travel up and down Khayelitsha and Montana was a bit of an issue. So, I mean, I couldn't do it just because of that, because I always loved Vikings,
Oh.
Yeah. Speaking to Sarah, Ofe as well, you seem so passionate about this club.
No, I am.
What's your story with him?
This is my family. Like I really believe that I wouldn't be where I am right now if it wasn't for Vikings. Just yesterday, I was just thinking, because I'm in my final year and I didn't know I would be able to make it to my final year, but because of Montana Vikings, they're assisting me through high school with my matric, my first day university paying, getting seniors involved in paying my fees this year. It's just been like, so when I graduate, I just feel, I think I'm gonna cry. Like it's such a name. People don't understand, like Vikings is not just about basketball. It's really not. We have people that give off their time to help us with our studies when I was matric. Now I'm trying to teach my juniors to do the same in our life skill programs. There's so many things happening in Vikings that actually help you. If you don't have a family, that becomes your family. Not that I don't have a family, but they are like my, that's my family, and they are always there when you need them, whether it's academics, whether it's basketball related, whether it's to develop your skill, whether it's someone you need to speak to, they'll open their doors and have you there. So
I'm loving the fact that the club, this ethos, this just seems to be so rounded. It's players, the help that the players are getting. You hit the seniors and you got to give back to the juniors. It's amazing. You were also telling me about some of the programs that you have going.
So when I was matric, one of our seniors, he helped me with my matric year, and then we started a program, the academic program, and I'm managing the academics, where I look at our juniors those that are struggling, and I help them. So our primary school, so every Friday from 4 till 6. I will go there and I'll help them with it's their projects and things like that. Our matriculants, I focus a lot on them because they are matrics. Yeah. And what I find, like what we were speaking about, is that we don't have textbooks. So it's, if the learner doesn't have a textbook, I need to borrow things like that. So if we could get like people to donate textbooks or donate their time, we need
textbooks.
Textbooks, or just come give your time and help someone. You never know what you helping that child pass their matric or pass their life science, whatever the case may be. That could be the way that they end their cycle in their communities, or like open the doors and things like that. So so that's what we do now in our academics, and we focus that. I focus on that a lot.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You guys also telling me about this crazy stint of playing for 24
hours of basketball. It's crazy.
Basically, what that is all about is an annual event that we do every year. So basically, we go out as the club, like everyone, like from juniors to seniors. We get a venue. We play basketball for 24 hours.
Is it the same venue, or is it?
No, it is the same venue, but we've changed the venue for the past 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, it used to be the same venue, but we changed the venue for the past 2 years. But I mean, the main thing is like to interact with everyone in the club. I mean, the parents, the juniors, and the seniors.
It's literally a family day.
It's like
a family day.
Everyone comes.
Yeah, it is a family
the whole freaking day.
Yeah.
What happened this year? Basically, we do T-shirts every year. So if you see here in front, it will say 24-hour over there, and then over there it will say the year that we did the 24.
Sure.
And then this year, we went about to write down all the names of the players that we lost, like all the players that passed away, and it's emotional. As you can hear me, like my tone is, it's even changing. I want to cry. And to be honest with you, my coach actually literally like cried when he was talking about all of these players in this T-shirt.
Wow.
I mean, how they passed away, how are their lives, and all those kind of things. I mean, it's very nice.
Would you mind sharing one or two of the stories?
So our most recent, or the one that I'm very close to is Nupo Miezo. We used to call her Anne, and she was my coach. And we also played like when my first year as under 18 junior. She passed away naturally, natural causes, and that was last year. Last year she passed away. So it's still like sometimes you play and you just like you think of her and things like that. But she was also. What was remarkable about Anne is that she gave up her time. Also, Vikings is about giving off your time. We don't have money to pay our players, so it's you. The way you repay or the way you show that your gratitude is by giving off your time. So that's what she was. She was coaching and things like that. So we really miss her a lot.
Well, this sounds like such an amazing club. I really hope, and speaking to Johan back there, pay attention, dude. We've got to see about coming out there and filming something.
Yeah.
Guys, we got to wrap this up. There's so much more I want to ask you, but unfortunately, time is the enemy here. A message to the viewers out there and kids out there.
So basically, what I want to say is. Basketball is a sport that's very not popular. So if you get what I'm understanding. So I mean, if you want your kid to start basketball, don't be afraid to bring your kid in Montevideo Primary School.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll get like the best coaching in South Africa, if I'll be honest with you, because I mean, I got the best coaching in South Africa because I play like professional. I play in the BNL. I still play right now. So I mean. Just get your kid out there, let them start basketball. It's a very, very nice sport, and it's, get into the club.
Yeah. For me, it's just, I'm very academic, and I think sports is such a great way to end our cycles, our poverty in our communities, and I feel like it's not being emphasized enough. If we could get our children to play sports, get basketball. I mean, we in an area where it's Montana and there's Valley Park, so many different communities. Come, bring your child there. Let the child after 4 o'clock be in playing basketball. Get their mind also, get them off the corner. So yeah.
Lots of lessons, guys. Thank you so much. I hope to see you guys back in the studio again soon. Sorry, but we got to cut this now. Please check back in a couple of moments. We have the ref here, and hopefully won't be sculling the ref. Welcome back to the final segment of the day with Zaida Polis and another edition of Don't Scull the Ref. Welcome, Ref.
Thank you, Coach.
So today I believe we're talking ruck.
Yeah, the ruck, which is add-on to our last segment. I think it was the tackle.
Yep.
Which is often a contentious issue because
questions.
It happens on the floor, and things can get messy. But anyway, let's get going.
Yeah, let's hope that people don't scale you so much after this one.
Yeah, let's hope so. Hey. Okay. So the purpose of the ruck, it's basically the rules of the facet of play, where players they compete on the ground. So the ball basically on the ground, and that's basically one of the facets. So the forming of the ruck, firstly, it can take anywhere in the field of play between the two try lines. That's ultimately the playing field. The definition of the ruck, let's just start with that. So a definition of the ruck is where at least one player from each side, they are in contact with each other over the ball. So the ball's on the ground, or the tackler, it goes to ground, attacking player, defending player, they're over the ball, in contact, and they're competing for the ball. Yeah, they're contesting, ball's on the ground. That's basically it. And then the last point of forming a ruck is players from either side, they must have their head and shoulders, no lower than the hips, similar to the scrum, but that's another
Technical aspect.
yeah, which we can leave for another day. Then the most important other thing is the offside at the ruck, and I think
Yeah.
this is often because players, especially on defense, but it applies for both sides, attacking and defending sides. The offside lines is at the hindmost feet of the ruck. So you have,
So if you have multiple players,
yeah,
right,
yes,
in the ruck, let's say on the defending side,
yeah,
where is which foot? You're saying behind the feet?
yeah. So the hindmost foot of the ruck. So you have the ball, the contest happening above the ball, which is obviously the definition of the ruck. So if you have one player on either side, the last feet. That's why you always hear the referee shout last feet. Okay, that's basically what he's saying, the hindmost foot. If you have 5 players on the side and one on this player, the last person that forms
On the
part of the
side.
ruck, his foot would be the offside line. So, and often, you would just hear offside at the defending side, but it applies for both sides. Like I said, it's either the last foot, or if it reaches the try line, at the end of at the try line, no ruck can take place inside that in-goal area. So, offside line, hindmost foot.
Okay.
We had recently, I don't know if you can recall, 2 years ago, we had this, which Eddie Jones called it, was just ugly, where you had Italy. Italy stood at there was a tackle, and then you had Eddie Jones, the Italian players going around on the other side, just standing there. So all basically what they said is that there's no ruck, so therefore, the offside feet, there's no offside line, so they can go anywhere. However, since then, World Rugby came out and they said as soon as there's one player over, okay, from the tackle, and then he stands there, the offside line is his last feet.
Okay.
So therefore, you can't pass that. So that's the offsides. Then joining the ruck.
Yeah, this is another interesting one.
Yeah, so often you would get players streaming in from the side and whatever, but the law says that the arriving player must be on his feet and he must come from behind the offside line. So he must basically be facing his opposition poles or try line, and he must basically come through the gates. In terms of that's his where he needs to join it, and he needs to join alongside, but not in front of the hindmost feet. So basically, this is the last player. He needs to come from behind and join from behind. He can't come from in front of them.
In front of the side.
In front of the side. Okay. And then during the ruck, we're getting there, don't worry. But again, this episode, even for myself as a referee, and I think for fellow referees, we also just brush up on the laws as we go along. Possession can be won by either side by pushing the player. So you're allowed to, what we call a counter ruck. You can push the guys off from the ball. Okay, but obviously you can't handle the ball in the ruck. So no hands in the ruck. You'll always hear the referee shout, hands out or leave the ball. So meaning you can't handle the ball. Okay. So it's just some do's and don'ts, what you're not allowed to do in the ruck. You can't pick up the ball with your hands. You can't basically handle the ball. You can't pick it up with your legs. So often you'll see the guy goes halfway down and he pinches it basically, squeeze ball, and then he lifts it up. He's not allowed to do that. He's not allowed to collapse the ruck intentionally. So the ruck is there, ruck is formed, you can't collapse it by pulling it down.
Sorry, so just for clarity's sake, nobody is allowed flat on the ground now during a ruck. You have to be no knees on the ground.
No. So basically, often as the nature of the game, the ball goes to ground, or the players, because of momentum or whatever, they go to ground. Okay, but they're not. That's one of the do's and don'ts. So at the ruck, you're not allowed to prevent the ball from coming out. So if I'm the tackler, hypothetically, and the ball carrier places the ball back, I'm not allowed to lay in his way and prevent the ball from.
So that's why you see the player roll away.
That's why you'll hear the referee shout, roll away, and those type of things. So that's that. You're not allowed to intentionally step on a player, which I think that should be, general knowledge. And then also, like I said, you're not allowed to lay in the way. So you'll tell him, get out of the way. And the last recent amendment to the law, I think it was last year, which was you're not allowed to kick the ball out of the ruck any longer. Then it is penalty against you.
Okay.
So that's what you're not allowed to do.
So we got 2 minutes. We got to wrap this.
Yeah. And then the ending of the ruck, it's either that the ball is won by any of the two teams, and they're allowed to get it out. Okay, if the ball is past the hindmost foot, okay.
So this is not
ball
pushing
is out.
over the ball.
Yeah, pushing off the ball, or even just in general. Okay, I place the ball there. You know, you need to get it out of there. Okay, if the ball is there and it's available to be played, and the scrum half takes his time or whatever, the referee will shout, use it, meaning go. Okay, use it as it says.
Or lose it.
If not, like you say, use it to lose it. If not, if you don't take too long, the referee will shout, will blow his whistle and scrum to the opposing team. And the only other thing, the scrum also becomes, the ruck becomes, the ball becomes unplayable, where the ball becomes unplayable, and the referee decides, okay, it's either a scrum is awarded, okay, if he feels
that's awarded to the advancing team.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Okay, so you'll see basically, so see, basically we had possession of the ball. So the team who had possession of the ball, you can say, okay, hypothetically, there's too many players on the ball. Okay, you will blow it, and you will say scrum to that team.
Cool.
And that's basically that in a nutshell.
In a
You
nutshell.
know, we can become technical, but that we'll leave for another day.
So hopefully ask your questions and we'll feed it to the ref. And thank you again so much for your time.
Pleasure.
Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next week.